This is Rush Hour on Fox Sports Net.
Hi and welcome to Curves. I'm Simon.
And I'm Jennifer.
This week the girls head to Vallejo, California near Napa Valley for the very first tour event for this summer.
We'll be on tour at the new Marine World theme park. We'll see which of the 4 teams has put together the best field of competitors for this season.
And there's been a little switcheroo going on there, so it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Then we're on a mission going back across the Bay Bridge. Going to try and find ourselves a boat ramp and go and get an up-close look at the Golden Gate Bridge.
Does that mean we have to ski in shark-infested waters?
And it's pretty cold too, and Curves policy, no wetsuits.
We'll also have a chance to catch up with bad girl Sherry Sloan, coming back from yet another knee surgery.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3 for Sherry, but she's doing a good job on recovery, and that's all coming up to you on Curves. Seven babes in a boat on a mission to ski the Golden Gate Bridge. Sounds easier said than done. Can I even find the boat ramp? We'll have a look. On a mission and project number 1, can we get all of this stuff between the boat and the car?
That needs to go in the boat, I think. All our skis are going in the boat.
We really tested the maximum capacity of that spur.
Okay, maybe not. That was some nice grunting.
And on the road, here we go. Through the tunnel, and of course this is the other famous bridge in San Francisco, the Bay Bridge.
Alcatraz, you know, we're really lucky that they didn't put us in Alcatraz for trying this.
Oh, I bet there were several moving citations with that rig.
You know, I'm glad Sherry Sloan had the job of trailing this boat through San Francisco. It was quite a challenge.
Did you try any directions, Jim?
Actually, it only took us 2 U-turns and 4 stops to get this right.
I'm sure.
I'm going to go and ask about where a launch is.
I got it all under control. We lost.
Lost in San Fran.
Jan, you're looking pretty lost.
Okay, Simon, there is only one public boat ramp in San Francisco.
One.
Just one.
Right.
And next, a little wakeboarding.
Okay, on tour. Let's see if the young guns can take on high-flying Andrea Gayton.
Team Overton's the new team on tour this summer. 2 great skiers on this team, Christy Overton and Tony Neville.
And on the wakeboard, Gretchen Hammerberg. It was her first tour event. And as a result, the pressure got to her. Didn't have a really great opening pass. On the second pass here, pulled off a couple of flips, but just failed to ride out toward the end. But she'd be pretty happy with that for her first tournament of the season.
Another new team on tour, Team Nautiques. Emma Shears from Australia and Susie Graham from Canada.
And on the wakeboard, another rookie on tour, Bree Moore. Well, she found life a little interesting out there. It was very difficult to ride in between all the obstacles and had a couple of early falls and came in 4th place.
Returning this year in 1998, Team Mastercraft, the tour champions from last year.
And on the wakeboard, Yoko Ebahara, also a rookie, and she definitely found it interesting trying to negotiate this lake. Have a look at that, just around the ski jump. Threw her concentration off a little bit, and as a result, didn't ride out a lot of her big tricks, but ended up in 3rd place.
Also returning for 1998 is Team Malibu with some new faces, Sherry Sloan and Tom Larson-Hahn.
And the ace up the sleeve, Andrea Gayton, the 4-time world champion, and she came out and stuck the tricks one after the other. In fact, failed to fall off throughout her whole pass until right at the end with this huge doubler. And stoked they are. Team Malibu takes a 6-point lead, and what a foot in the door for the beginning of this event. Andrea Gayton there with a huge double up, putting Malibu ahead early in that event. Fantastic stuff. On tour a little later, we'll recap the slalom, but now it's time for Wow Style.
incredible women's slalom competition.
Stay tuned for Curves. We'll be right back. Curves is brought to you by Mastercraft, the leader and pulling farther ahead. By Malibu, breaking new ground, making new rules. And Nautiques by Correctcraft since 1925.
Back on tour, the second round of competition is slalom.
First up, Jill Knudsen. Let's see if Team Malibu can hang on to that lead.
Let's pick up with Jill on her third pass.
35 off now for Team Malibu. Jill Knudsen looking good there. A little slack line around ball one. And she rips off a huge two. She's in great shape to clear 35. A little more slack line, but makes it easily around four. Great stuff.
With a lot of support from the Malibu fans, Jill's coming in to set the pace at 38 off.
38 off, a tough one for Jill. She's really going to have to go for it this time round one. Oh, a lot of slack line. She's going to be narrow at two. Just gets around two. And out the back door, they're overturned. Looks like maybe 1.5 for Team Malibu. Alrighty for Team Nautiques. Susie Graham now, 35 feet off. Oh, she's in a lot of trouble there. Right on the trail, but hooks up a huge turn at number two. Unbelievably can she make this pass. Gets around four and out of the gates. Phenomenal stuff.
Not a pretty pass for Susie Graham, but it all looks the same on the scoreboard. She's going to have to do better at 38 off.
Susie Graham, 38 off, a phenomenal 35 off pass, but overturned to one ball, and she's gone down.
A disappointing run for such a veteran. Next up is the Overton of Team Overton, Christy.
35 off now for Christy Overton. This is a must-run pass, but she's going to get into the points here for her team. Unbelievable turn at two. Oh, she's very early at three, goes through some bumps and still survives. 4 at 35 off.
She looked a lot smoother on that run than Susie did.
38 feet off for Christy Overton. She needs to get around two to take the win. She won't get it from there. One ball for Christy Overton at 38 off. Well, Christy falling short. Let's see how my co-host does. Jennifer Leachman. All right, getting into the business stuff now. 35 off for Jennifer. Oh, it's a great start around ball one. Early at two. Sensational turn at two. She's still nice and early. Absolutely striking this pass. The easiest been made so far today. Well, looks like she's got the best form so far. Let's have a look at crucial pass number 4. All right, for Mastercraft to win, she must get around ball two and back to the weight side. Right out the front, hooked the ski on the line, and she's down. A disappointing run for Team Mastercraft, so they're forced to pull the wild card out early. Let's see how April Coble does. Tail after getting a little wet, we're now at 35, a little bobble through the gate. She's on the tail, we're going to have to work hard here. This is 35, but she's into the wind. Looking good going into ball 3. Long turn to ball 4, and she's made it. Now she gets a fresh chance at 38.
So far, so good for Team Mastercraft, but can she get the two buoys?
All right, crunch time. We'll look at the two boys for Team Mastercraft. She's around ball 1. Can she get over to 2? Oh, inside. And she topped Jennifer's score by a half, and it's not going to be enough. Well, a wild card not paying off for Mastercraft. You see April just going inside the ball and not extending herself enough. And the relative underdog, Jill Knudsen, coming through with the win. Well, what an exciting event that was. Malibu hanging on to that lead. Great run by Jill Knudsen, and Mastercraft pulling out April there for that very exciting run at the end, just missing the win. So great stuff there. Now, this on a mission thing, you reckon you can find this ramp, Jen?
Don't worry, Simon. We'll find it. We're on a mission.
Back on a mission and downtown San Francisco.
I don't think we thought that finding the boat ramp was going to be the hard part. We might have had better luck in Alaska.
But the chilly waters of the Bayview Boat Club give it up. Hey, the ramp.
Feels like we're in Alaska. The teeth are chattering.
Finally, it's time to rip it up on the bay. of your favourite curves coming up.
You know, Jen, I can't wait to see you ski the Golden Gate Bridge, but first we're going to recap the trick event.
First up, Team Mastercraft with our newest team member, Starlet Smith.
Mastercraft is way behind in the competition. They need a stellar performance out of Starlet Smith.
Well, Stella was not what we got out of Starlet, scoring 2,760. That won't be enough with the girls coming up behind her.
Jane Gage and Team Overton, 4,550 points. Still not going to be enough to win.
The next skier out was Regina Team Nautique. And though she put up a strong score, there's still some talent to come, which will put a lot of heat on this pass.
Still an outstanding run for the youngster. Ton Han for Team Malibu, always putting out a great run. She puts out 6,640, which everybody thinks is going to take the lead at this time.
Okay, so a strong performance there from Malibu, thinking that they may have this event in the bag, but then of course the wild cards come out.
Susie Lauren for Team Overton actually pulled off a disappointing run, 2,260 points. They lose a second place position.
Well, one wild card backfiring, but the next one out absolutely all the way. Roddy Martin bringing Team Nautique, who are currently last at the start of this event, bringing them from last up to second place with two stand-up passes there. A superb performance from a very, very strong overall skier, and that's why she is the wild card for Team Nautique. So Team Nautique's now in reach of Malibu with one event to go.
But what a great finish to an exciting trick event there. Team Nautique pulling out their wild card, and Ronnie Barton going out slamming out two passes back to back with a couple of flips in there as well, so bonus points for Team Nautique.
It seems that the Malibu streak has been broken and anything can happen in jumping. But next, let's go on a mission to ski the Golden Gate Bridge.
Finally, the most famous bridge in the world, and it's all ours.
It's time to ski the treacherous waters under the Golden Gate Bridge.
The ideal situation is, Regina, you don't fall. Team captain, is it? You think?
We'll give it a go.
Okay.
There you go.
Simon, do you remember what you were doing on your 14th birthday?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Regina. Happy birthday to you.
You know, Jen, that looked unreal. Fantastic.
Actually, it was really good fun. It was actually really cold, too. You know, it all started as a birthday surprise for Regina, but once we were out there, we all wanted to go.
Fabulous stuff. Okay, coming up, Camille Duval talks with bad girl Sherry Sloan, and we'll recap the jump event, all coming up on Curve. Welcome back to Curves. Before we get to recap the last event, which is jump, special guest Camille Duval had a chance to catch up with a comeback kid and bad girl Sherry Sloan.
Sherry is famous for her cuts to the ramp and also for being a founder of WOW.
Sherry, you're a bit of the AMA poster child. How many operations have you had on your knees alone?
I've had 3 on my knee and 1 on my ankle so far.
Oh my God. Now, were all these injuries from water skiing?
Yes, they were. Just kind of a cumulative effect of over the years of different things happening, but yeah.
Well, now you've accomplished pretty much everything you wanted to in the sport. No regrets at this point?
No regrets at all. I've had a great life and I've had a great career, and that was kind of one of the problems after I hurt myself at the end of last year was, hey, you've done what you wanted to do.
Well,
do
why?
you have something left, or
Right.
you know, it might be time to move on. So it was a gut check for me, and I think I clarified it in my head and worked it out.
Well, what did you clarify in your
I
head?
said,
Why? Why did you come back?
Well, there are a lot of things changing in the sport. We have longer jump skis now. We might go into some ski flying stuff. I think this women's tour is awesome. It's fantastic for the sport, and since I started part of it, I want to be part of it. So I'm ready to ski fly a little bit, use the long skis, and maybe try to change a little bit and accomplish some new goals.
How far do you think you can go ski flying?
Well, that's the theory. I guess we have to figure out what's safe for the women, you know. And I would say 170, 180 feet possibly. You kind of have to figure out the danger factor for the girls and to make sure that it's safe for us.
Now, is that danger factor in the back of your mind as you go back into competing this year?
Well, the thing about jumping is that you always have to have the fear factor. And if you have the fear and the danger factor, normally you're safe. So I've worked on that, and I think I'm going to be fine.
Well, we certainly wish Sherry all the best. But now, back on tour.
First up in the jump event, Team Malibu. It's none other than Sherry Sloan.
Well, first jump for Sherry was a fairly easy one. Remember, just coming back from injury, you can see both the knee braces there. She was taken fairly easy and going off of Jen a three-quarter cut, which is quite unusual for Sherry.
Actually, this is really good jumping for Sherry. She's going almost as far as she does normally, taking a three-quarter cut.
So 122 on the first, 129 on the second, and the third jump here coming up for Sherry. But she has her teammate, the wild card from Malibu, Laurie Kruger, coming up behind her. So a little insurance there. So really going for it. Great performance.
Next up is Karen Trula. Mastercraft pretty much needs a miracle at this point. I think the miracle was her skis came in from the airport about 4 minutes before she skied.
Yeah, so nothing like losing your skis to break your concentration, but nonetheless a good performance there with a 132. Great jumping for Karen.
Tony Neville from Australia for Team Overton. If she goes over 150 feet, they can win it.
Now, Tony had an exceptional set here with a 145, almost the biggest jump ever at Marine World.
That's going to give her first place for the event, but not the bonus points that she needs to take the lead.
Well, great jumping there from Tony, and Overton's a little bit out of the race. It's more between Nortiques and Malibu. Emma Shears really having to go for it here, trying to bring Nortiques from second up to first and needing a huge jump. About 150 feet would do it, but 131 on that, so it's all or nothing now for Emma Shears. Can she do it? Talk about crunch time. Really powers to the bottom there, and absolutely took a huge digger, and she was luckily okay, but that was about the end of the story for Nortiques.
And just to throw a little salt in the wound for all the teams, Laurie Kruger comes out with a 140, and that puts her in second place for the event and icing the cake for Team Malibu.
Well, what a fabulous team effort by Malibu there, coming out of the box early with a win, stayed ahead for the whole event, and a terrific start to their season.
Exciting jump event.
Yeah, it sure was. And how about that attempt by Nortiques coming up from the rear, trying to go for those bonus points there. And what about that jump by Emma Shears? What a ripper.
That's the exciting part about the Wild Tour. You never know who's going to win till the last skier skis. But you know what? Next time we're going to be in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
So join us in the Twin Cities and be sure to check out your favorite curves.
The 98 Women of Water Sports Tour began near the city by the bay on famous Lake Chabot in Vallejo. Team Malibu drew first blood with four-time world champ Andrea Gaitan taking the wakeboard title. On the slalom course, teammate Jill Knudsen could not be topped, running 1.5 buoys at 38 off. Team Nautiques pulled their wild card in tricks, and it paid off with Ronnie Barton acing the trick event. On the ramp, Team Overton's Tony Neville bested the field, jumping 145 feet, though fellow Aussie Emma Shears tried to crash her party. Team Malibu opens the season with the title and the bragging rights. Today, WOW skis into Minneapolis to take on the mighty Mississippi next.